ice cold and dead silent, and Drake May's wondering like, oh, hell, what do I do against these guys? Because I just threw a ball that got double tipped and picked. And instead, Marcus Jones saves your bacon once again, breaks up that pass from Ladd McConkey. His fundamentals, everything that kid does, he's awesome. But Milton Williams, big hit later on when generations of the Herbert family will be feeling Milton Williams very late in the game there. The big karate chop to Herbert's head late in the first half. Should have been a penalty. Oops.
Oh, you think?
Sometimes.
Sometimes the 8 men who are paid $200,000 each staring at a franchise quarterback just miss it.
How the hell do like five? There's more refs on the field in the playoffs, and they
don't
miss
understand
a
it.
6'3", 290-pound guy literally doing a Hassan chop right to the whatever.
And it was like the collision of about $350 million worth of men, like these superstar players colliding. Like they tell you, don't watch the ball. No, sometimes just watch the ball. When the quarterback has the ball, watch to see if he gets hit in the head by the star defensive lineman. I saw Sean Merriman was like, "Oh, so we're just punching the quarterback in the face now? That's allowed?" Like that sarcasm was worthy. But there were bad calls in both directions. I don't think either team can lament the calls in this game. I think both teams can lament failure to make plays. Like this was not the prettiest of football games. I mean, I don't think those of us that wanted this to be game one of Herbert May, like maybe this is some modern number 10
I'll
versus
pass
number.
if this is what it's going to look like.
Yeah, you sometimes you work the kinks out. This is like the what do you workshop, you comedy guys? You go to like small clubs and workshop it before you go to like the real show.
Yeah, this felt like one of those clubs where you bring the drink and your notes on stage and you set them on a stool and you just let people know like at the top of the set like, yeah, I'm just working out some new material tonight.
Right. We're not quite ready for the road and like the 30-city tour with these jokes.
No. This was definitely they call them bringers, where you have to like bring 10 people to get in to perform, and you're barking outside with a sandwich board like, "Hey, free comedy show tonight!"
But guess what?
Show tonight.
Counts
Unlimited.
the same. It counts the same.
And that's the thing.
You go on and the Chargers go home and the loser is Justin Herbert and the winner is not a fraud. You can't say like the spot was too big for Drake May or any of those things. If you want to nitpick the fumble, the interception, whatever, those are fine. But you can nitpick as he prepares to face either the Texans or the Steelers.
I think I'm going to be rooting for the Steelers tomorrow night.
I would be, because if the Texans come to town, Drake May die next week.
I mean, Morgan Moses, it looks like age finally caught up to old man Moses a bit tonight.
Jared Wilson and Will Campbell looked like they'd never played the sport of football before.
They look like they came fresh off the set of Little Giants onto the
Khalil
field.
Mack is like prime of career, driving Will Campbell into the backfield.
Will Campbell back in. And I told you earlier in the week that one of the guys on the line, that the Thule guy, again, I just said only think of like the bicycle cart or the roof rack that you put on your fancy SUV. The Thule linebacker guy, awesome as advertised. Tier Tart was just pushing people around. Like Pat's offensive line, I know it's going to be well into tomorrow by the time we get to the Cars for Kids sponsored Andy Hart thumbs up, thumbs down on the program. I'm not expecting many people from the offensive line to be in the thumbs up portion of thumbs up and thumbs down.
I wouldn't if I were you, and that includes
I'll tell
the
you,
coach.
You're giving Zach Core, Mike Vrabel, Terrell Williams, and everyone that was involved in the defensive game plan their flowers, as you should be. I think Doug Marrone is probably going to go, you know what, I'll have a beer and I'll go to bed tonight, but I'm going to show up first to work tomorrow.
It took 18
and
weeks.
I'm sorry, Andy, here's Mike Vrabel.
You make it down, Karen? There you are.
I ran the whole way, Mike.
Good.
There's a saying that defense wins championships. Your team had 6 sacks of Justin Herbert and pretty much made his life miserable. How well did you think they played tonight?
Well, I thought they played extremely well. I thought they were committed to stopping the run. I thought they were, the sudden change was critical. It was a very good defense that we were playing. And, we turned the ball over far too many times. But what our defense was able to do early in that game, in the red zone, inside the 5-yard line or inside the 9-yard line, was, I think, really set the tone for them for the rest of the game. And, could have been better. We had a lot of scrambles, and we knew that. And, again, trying to rush and trying to, make sure that those scramble lanes aren't there. Secondary did a fantastic job.
Win over the Los Angeles Chargers. We do expect Drake May to follow shortly thereafter. Sometimes Christian Gonzalez or another player will sneak in between Mike Vrabel and Drake May at the podium. I don't think we're going to be hearing from Christian Gonzalez, though, after he got a little bit dinged up during the game. Andy, any initial reactions to what Mike Vrabel had to say and or the injury to Christian Gonzalez since I brought it up?
Yeah, the injury to Christian Gonzalez is certainly concerning, him being ruled out, downgraded to out late in the game there with a head injury. Now, we've seen these. They can play themselves out over the course of a week where you can make your way through protocol and all that.
You can be in protocol. Should we also remind the audience you can be in protocol without being concussed or having some sort of severe head trauma as well?
Right. Now, the being ruled to out, I don't love in the game. Sometimes the guys after the game enter the protocol when they didn't even really have a concussion kind of thing.
Right.
But the fact that he was downgraded to out there late is not ideal. As far as Vrabel, I think he echoed a lot of the way I feel. You know, the ground game, praise for the ground game, praise for Zach Core, praise for that huge stop after the turnover early, setting the tone for the defense. And I did think the special teams, you know, when it was 6-3 and 9-3 and Brendan Schooler's covering kicks and Borregales is just hitting his field goals, felt like that might be enough, right? There was a point there with the defense and the special teams. You're like, oh, they could really probably just win this game 9-3 or 9-6 or something.
Andy,
So-
here, I'm sorry for the interruption. Here's Drake May.
Yes, sir. Drake, take us through this night. Certainly was a battle for you. What did you learn from it? And how proud are you? And
Man, just glad we got
able
to
to
win, man. That's
bounce
all.
back.
offense were resilient in the face of constant pressure, defensive creativity, and a scheme and a team that wanted to knock him off his spot and make him as uncomfortable as possible. And I think he was uncomfortable at times tonight. But he never looked like he looked unflappable. He never looked worried. He never looked like too off kilter. There was no look on his face, Andy, like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like, he may not have had the answer, but that's why you have a Josh McDaniels and a Mike Vrabel to go to on the sideline, a Todd Downing and a Thomas Brown that you can consult with and say, hey, what am I missing out there? And then they'll give him some answers, and he goes back out there and then just takes I'm so proud of him for taking the easy stuff, like check down to Mondre for 8, check down to Mondre for 12. Oh, a run up the gut for 37. Very impressive in the end.
Yeah, I thought this was, as we had feared, his worst game since the Raiders game. I didn't think he played very well. I thought he, as he self-noted, held on to the ball way too long. That first strip sack, he avoided the strip sack and then was dumb enough to try to throw it after avoiding the strip sack, which led to a strip sack when the guy was still there to knock the ball out of his hands. I thought he was not very accurate, as he noted, and I think you hear the confidence in his voice, and I'll hearken back to that Cleveland game. I think you're seeing the game version of he knows he didn't play well, and he knows he's probably not going to play poorly 2 games in a row. That's the air of confidence that I take from that. Like,
what's the one that you cite often, Andy? Excuse my interruption. What is the one that you cite so often?
The Cleveland game, where he said that won't happen again.
The Schweisinger pick,
and
yes.
It didn't. I feel like tomorrow when we talk to Drake May, and it'll soon to be today in about 20 minutes, on WEEI afternoons, there might be a, I didn't play well and that won't happen again kind of quote. Now, the challenge could be immense. The challenge could be different. If it's Houston next Sunday, I don't know if you saw the Adam Schefter tweet out schedule that it will indeed be next Sunday, winner of Pittsburgh, Houston at New England.
Early slot, correct?
He has it second in his tweet, so I don't know if that indicated the game time or not. It didn't have a time next to it, but he had it listed as the last game of the weekend in his tweet. But it's definitely on Sunday, according to the tweet, which I think is actually huge in relation to the Gonzo injury. Give him as many days as possible to work his way through the protocol. But I think Drake May, there will be an immense challenge next week if it's Houston, but I think he's going to have confidence going into it because I think he feels like he didn't play well, and I don't think he expects to play poorly 2 games in a row.
There it is.
I will say.
I see your tweet right there. It has L.A. versus the Bears, I think, is the 3 o'clock game. I think the Patriots are going to be playing another night playoff game at the Razor.
I will say he ran really well. I thought he made good decisions with his legs and was very productive with his legs. But I will also say if the other guys continue to play well, and if they can just get the line to play a little bit better, actually a lot better, because the challenge on the other side is going to be a lot bigger. I have to think that's the biggest disappointment of the team tonight is the way the offensive line played. Will Campbell, Jared Wilson, those guys were just – it was like they had never seen any stunts or twists or games up front. Now, thankfully, it seemed like the Chargers had never seen any stunts or games or twists up front either, so it was kind of an equal matchup. But I did think Drake May handled it better than Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert has a little bit of a building monkey on his back here about, the line's not good, but you're a $60 million franchise quarterback. Make some chicken salad here.
I know, but Drake May is talented enough to be getting paid $60 million right now, and for all we know, one day soon he's going to be a $65 or $70 million man. I got to say, I didn't necessarily see anybody step up tonight for Justin Herbert and say, hey, buddy, I know you're under duress for the majority of the night because the Patriots are blitzing, stunting, and just plain shoving our line all over the place.
But Herbert
like
wasn't
looking
good.
for a toy. But no, he wasn't good. But I didn't see anybody like Hunter Henry stepped up at times. Kayshon Boutte stepped up at times. Ramondre stepped up at times. I didn't see anybody step up and try to be Robin to his Batman or just a B,
Herbert
C,
didn't
or
either.
D.
Herbert
well,
didn't
he
either.
ran. He ran. I mean,
I thought he was indecisive when he ran at times, and then he tried to flick it into the right side like 3 or 4 times, and instead flicking it to a receiver, he flicked it into the bench area. I thought Herbert was pretty bad. I thought he was. And now he's under pressure.
What if the Patriots defense was just that good tonight?
The Patriots defense was good against a bad offensive line. You know, you sort of give it credit for what it is. It's a really good performance against a suspect offensive line. So it all kind of comes
and a quarterback who had no answers and a supporting cast, quite frankly, that didn't show up. And now Sadly, Derwin James, who thought he was the cock of the walk, 90 minutes before game time, walking around Gillette Stadium with no shirt on, just like some sandal. You know what that gets added to, Andy? We should make this like a little running segment. The Letterman Jacket Hall of Fame. People that have showed up at Gillette Stadium thinking their next move is going to be the meme that resets the standard against the Patriots, and it ends up just embarrassing them.
It's called trying too hard.
Yeah, it's it's tryhardism 101 as well. And listen, good football player as well. Also,
great.
Maybe he should have held on to that interception earlier as well. Maybe if his arms weren't so cold, he would have held on to it as well. Andy, I see the phone lines are jamming up as the good people of Pats Nation exit the stadium right now. There'll probably be a long line of traffic. We are here with you till the wee hours of the night to not only discuss this excellent Patriots defensive effort and wild card win, but also take a look at who they might be playing next week as well. It'll be the Texans or the Steelers. Both of them are familiar Foxborough foes of recent playoff past as well. We'll take a look at the weekend as well. Awesome weekend of football. Shout out to the 49ers real quick. What a great effort. And Philadelphia's out of it too. Nobody wanted Philadelphia in the playoffs anymore. I mean, today was nothing but win. And the looming specter of Josh Allen. Andy, we're going to have to talk about that a little bit as well. If Josh Allen goes to Denver next weekend, pulls off another upset a mile high in the football sky, and the Patriots can get to the divisional round, that could set up round 3 between Superman and Waffle House Josh Allen. I think everybody would have their popcorn ready and a whole bucket of LFG on the side for that one as well. You guys know the telephone number, 617-779-7937. Jake, Mark, Brandon, Trey, Don. Don't you guys go anywhere if we can't get a line open. We'll take these calls and we'll get right to you guys as soon as we can, everybody. Don't forget, later on in the evening, Andy Hart's thumbs up, thumbs down, the Cars for Kids player of the game. It's all brought to you by McFarland Energy, the region's most dependable provider of home heating oil delivery, as well as expert HVAC services at McFarlandEnergy.com. What fool's gold now, Cam Newton? All I saw was an awesome performance by a great defense and a team that cares about each other. It's Fitzy, it's Hart, it's you. It's the Six Rings postgame show, live on WEEI.
WEEI, New England Sports Original.
It's really been amazing, the amount of people that I've had contact me, and the talk is generally centered around QC Kinetics, and whether it's a knee, whether it's a back, a hip, shoulder.
He's always happy to talk about how QC Kinetics all-natural regenerative treatments finally gave him relief without surgery. That's former pro football player Bobby Carpenter.
My message to them is do not wait and push off a week, a month, whatever it is. So if you want to feel better this summer, now would be the time to get in. If you want to feel better in the fall, make sure that you're getting in here so you can go out and play golf and do the things that you love and enjoy.
Spoken by a man who experienced relief firsthand. QC Kinetics gave this former pro athlete back his mobility, his activity, and they'll do the same for you.
Has really helped me in just my general quality of life.
Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today. QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics. 617-644-PAIN. That's 617-644-PAIN. 617-644-PAIN.
I'm Tumani. When I was younger, I may have did some stupid things. I committed some crimes, and even got shot, but I'm not a criminal.
That's right. I'm Jamal. I work for youth advocate programs. Yeah, I was Tumani's advocate, helping him stay out of jail, stay in the neighborhood, get a job, and work hard to see a better future for himself. If you have a change of mindset, you can have a change of action.
As a little kid, I experienced trauma and I acted out. Made some mistakes, but I'm not a mistake.
No, she's a good student and a great kid. As Jalen's YAP advocate, I'm always here for her. With the youth advocate programs, I was able to connect with Jalen.
YAP is a community-based alternative to youth incarceration, congregate placement, and neighborhood violence. After completing our program, 86% of participants were arrest-free. YAP works.
And now, I'm a YAP advocate, helping kids like me find a better way.
Youth advocate programs. Others talk social change. We make it happen. Learn how at yapinc.org.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's. The Parkinson's Foundation knows that the disease doesn't just affect the diagnosed. It affects everyone who supports and helps care for them.
If you or someone you know is living with Parkinson's, a neurological disease that affects movement, we understand that it can be difficult to know where to find help.
If you have questions, the Parkinson's Foundation has answers. Answers for everyone in the fight.
We can help you understand the disease.
Help you find expert care and local support.
Give you tips for living a better life.
And share the latest research.
Find your answers and join us in the fight against Parkinson's.
To learn more, please go to parkinson.org.
Or call 1-800-473-4636.
That's 1-800-473-4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a teacher because they know a lot of awesome stuff. I'll stand in front of the class and make sure everyone knows what I know.
If your child is sick over and over again, it could be PI, a serious defect of the immune system. Early testing gives children a chance to dream.
And when I'm a teacher, my favorite subject will be recess.
Jeffrey Modell Foundation, helping children reach for their dreams. Visit info4pi.org.
What is it that makes the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid an incredible SUV? Is it the spacious interior that's comfy for the whole crew? Or the capability to go off-road? Maybe it's up to 600 plus miles of range. What if it's all of that and more? What is it then? The all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. So much more than just another SUV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
This is the Six Rings postgame show on WEEI.
Play pass. Oh, picked up on Henley. Twists him. Hands up. Henry's got it to the end zone. Touchdown, New England. Against his own team in the playoffs.
That was the call on NBC's Sunday Night Football. Mike Tirico as Drake May scrambled and found Hunter Henry streaking towards the front left pylon of the end zone. Spoiler alert, he got 6. That was the icing on the cake. Final score 16-3 as your Patriots get their first win in the playoffs in 7 years. Andy, and of course the last time they began a postseason run 7 years ago, it was against those very same Chargers, a 41-28 performance against the Chargers. Of course, that was ultimately capped off by a trip to Atlanta and a Super Bowl win against Jared Goff and the Los Angeles Rams. Nice to see Drake May get a dub in his first playoff performance. Nice to see Mike Vrabel, who I thought at times, is it me or did he bend over like he either had back pain or gas pain several times during that? I was wondering, like, dude, you got to sneak one out or something, Coach? You all right?
He loves the like hands on his knees stance, wide stance, but there were a couple times that it was extended and his head was very low, like he was reading something on the ground. I don't know if he was talking to somebody. It was, you know how we all do something weird when we're listening in our headphones? Like some people look off sort of into the distance up in the air like, yeah, I'm listening to somebody's talking in my ears. I don't know if maybe that's his like, Stretch has a really long-winded point he's making, so I'm going to just rest for a while, leaning on my knees, staring at the ground.
Or this isn't going the way I thought it was.
Yes.
So, like, maybe that's his, like, I don't know, like if I have to reset my brain, I do something very pedestrian, like make a bed or like wash the dishes. Maybe Mike Vrabel just needs to like sit there, stretch his glutes and like stare at the ground for a minute or something. And then he's like, got it. Okay, I got a plan, guys.
Because there was a lot to this game. I mean, I know we have time to get into it in the next couple of hours, and then we'll spend 4 hours tomorrow on it. Like, it was the fumble recovery, and you'd never think you'd say this, but one of the key plays of the game from a left guard who played pretty damn poorly was a fumble recovery by Jared Wilson after he allowed a strip sack. The ball bounced up, and he actually showed some athleticism to kind of catch it out of the air, because if that's a scoop and score fumble recovery, Lord knows how this game plays out. So you got the Marcus Jones play early, you got this fumble. There were a couple little, forks in the road, Robert Frost would say, that the path less taken has the Chargers winning this game, and the Patriots made the 2 or 3 key plays, that they needed to in those times. But yeah, there was a lot that went into this one, good and bad, and I think some of that weighed on the coach's shoulders there, and as he's resting.
What can you say, Andy? Sometimes the ball just bounces your way. Obviously, this is the story of the Patriots season, which now extends to 15-3 as well. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Like in Super Bowl 46, all the fumbles just bounce the other way for the Patriots. And there are some other games that's happened over the course of the last couple decades. Tonight, the ball goes the right way for them, time and time again. But they also they kind of created their own fate as well. I didn't see anyone take a play off. There wasn't a single play where it didn't look like K'Lavon Chaisson, Harold Landry, Christian Barmore, who we need to get into a little bit later as well, looked like he had probably his best game of the year. Milton Williams. These guys all look like they had an extra gear every play tonight.
My favorite Barmore play was after Milton Williams got away with hitting Justin Herbert in the head and throwing him to the ground. Christian Barmore did a Jimmy Superfly Snuka on top of him that was also ignored by the officials in a world where sometimes body weight landing on the quarterback is a penalty. He just dove on him there and got away with it. They put a hurting. My guy Ponder, when he put his face mask right in Herbert's chest to force that fumble. Justin Herbert is going to be in a lot of pain on the flight back to the West Coast.
You remember, Andy, you remember the Grizzly, and we'll get to the calls. We got a bunch of calls. Update in about 15 minutes time at the top of the hour. We'll be hearing from Megan Ottolini, fresh from the locker room as well. She had a chance to catch up with multiple players, including our friend Stephon Diggs, as well as Carlton Davis. So Mego's going to give us a little locker room report here on the Six Rings postgame show. Remember that Grizzly photo from the 2009 NFC Championship? It was Brett Favre's knee after he quarterback from Minnesota. He errantly threw that ball that got picked off at the end of the game, and that's what helped the Saints win. That's kind of like, it was pretty biblically gruesome. Like, that's what I have a feel like. Justin Herbert is just going to have bruises from head to toe. The poor guy just took a licking tonight from that Patriots defense.
Biggest bruise might be on his pride as well.
Oh!
Just saying. You're 0-3, buddy, and you threw for like 100 yards, and you looked like a chicken with your head cut off at times. $60 million my ass, or whatever.
Wow. Boy, that's a lot of tough talk for a guy who we would both gladly switch places with in a heartbeat right now.
Oh,
all right, here we go. Let's get to the phones. 617-779-7937. You guys know the telephone number here on the Six Rings postgame show on WEEI. Let's go to the future, halfway around the world. I imagine that this game resonated just as well tomorrow as it did for us tonight. Jake from Australia, you're first up on the Six Rings postgame show. How are you, Jake?
Yeah.
How about this guy, huh? Jake, how long? Jake, can I ask you real quick? How long have you been a Patriots fan for?
First game I ever saw was on TV was in 2008.
Okay, so over a decade and a half. So
wait, was that the first game of 2008?
No, I believe it was the 6th.
Okay, perfect.
Ronnie had a game.
Okay, because I was going to blame you for Tom Brady's torn ACL and everything that derailed that season.
Yeah,
Jake, no, that definitely wasn't me that year.
Yeah, Jake never told us his last name, Andy. It's Pollard. All right, so Jake, the reason why I was asking was because if you were watching in the early 2000s, 2001, 2, 3, 4, those first 3 Super Bowls were largely won not by an aggressive, hypersonic, super creative offense, but rather good game management, the occasional clutch throw, big run, but mostly great defense. And that's what tonight reminded me of. It reminded me of the good old days. It harkened back to how Patriots football was established under Bill Belichick in the early 2000s. Ferocious, tenacious, nonstop, and relentless. It's the kind of football that makes you proud, Jake.
I was walking around, so, I'm the pool boy, walking around the pool, and the owners are probably thinking I've got a few screws loose the way I was acting the last 2 hours. But it is awesome to see the D actually come together and play like that finally. Like, they've had a couple of good games, but that was by far their best. But, yeah, the offense has got a week to pull itself together against either, Texans or Steelers next week.
For sure. Absolutely. For sure, Jake. Well, listen, thanks for anytime we see you're there, we're always happy to grab your call. Glad you enjoyed the game. Start focusing all those energies on next Sunday's game. It's going to be probably a Sunday night affair, which means it'll be an early Monday morning catch for you. And we hope to be talking to you in victory once again, my friend.
Fingers crossed, guys. Let's go, Pats.
Here we go. Jake from Australia here on the Six Rings postgame show. Andy, pick a number 2 through 5.
4.
All right. Trey in Florida, you're next on the Six Rings postgame show. What up, Trey?
Trey bien.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, we can.
How we doing? First of all, I wanted to say I want to agree with you on 16 million. My ass. Justin Herbert didn't do much tonight.
Nope.
And I mean, we may not have the best defense, but we held them strong tonight, and I wanted to say that.
Absolutely, Trey. Thanks for the call.
All right, thanks. We're happy that that's what you wanted to call in and say tonight. No,
well,
Justin Herbert is not going to pin this performance to the top of his LinkedIn page. If Justin Herbert goes to the Hall of Fame, or if there's a Justin Herbert exhibit at the hell do they call the stadium in Brentwood that has the Chargers and the Rams playing it?
SoFi?
SoFi, yes, thank you. I'm sure when you enter SoFi that they will not have like a laser hologram rundown of this game. Like, this is a very forgettable, probably very, like as you were saying, physically, and I'll say competitively and emotionally, anguishing performance for him. Like, he took a whooping. He wanted to win. The guy's been playing through a broken hand, and they had no answers. He got no help from his offense. And the Patriots were in his business. They were a swarm of murder hornets all over him all night long tonight. He barely had any room to roam, operate, or even like stop and think, let alone make a read. And like you said, half the time when he was scampering for his life, he looked like he was indecisive because he wasn't sure if he was either going to hit or make the right read.
And when you compare it to last year, 4 interceptions, I believe, in his last playoff game. So it's not even his worst playoff game. Then I look down in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence didn't exactly wow people. A couple turnovers and could have had more balls being batted at the line. It's not easy to play playoff football, quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, I would say Jalen Hurts didn't play well today. Portions of that game, Brock Purdy did not play well today. Playing quarterback in the postseason is hard. As Drake May said, you're going to play a good defense. You're going to play a good team. There's a lot to it. And whatever you think of Drake May's performance, because I started to see on my timeline, fraud, regular season, Cinderella, blah, blah, like these things creep in. He's 1-0. He's guaranteed to be at worst a 500 quarterback in the playoffs at the age of 23. Even if he goes out and loses next week, the worst he can be in his first postseason is 1-1, right? Like, he's already doing things that others like Trevor Lawrence, $55 million. Justin Herbert, $55 million. Brock, like, he's already done enough to, I think, have his head held high. Now, it won't be easy. I'm going to take the under next week. I'm just going to tell you early. Like, I think next week we're probably in for another under because I don't think much of C.J. Stroud in that offense, and I do think very much of that defense. And, yes, I'm just assuming it's going to be Houston coming to
and they don't have much of a running game to speak of either as well. And they, too, have a banged-up offensive line that has been underwhelming all season long as well, Andy. So I could see something commensurate to what we watched tonight as well. And if I were Drake May, I would tell Morgan Moses and Will Campbell to get in the sauna as quickly as possible, sweat out tonight's game, and then get ready for hell next week. Because even if the Steelers somehow pull off the upset on Monday Night Football, the finale of Super Wildcard Weekend, that means you're going to be getting a face full of T.J. Watt. And was it Highsmith as well, the bookend defensive end as well?
Yeah. Oh, it won't be easy with them
the Steelers one. No, I mean, if they pull off the upset against the Texans, that means they got in their business and face as well. So a lot of face business going on. One more call, Andy. 1 through 5, please.
Let's go 3.
Joe is in the car, likely on the way home from the game. We're happy to have him here to wrap up hour 1 of the Six Rings postgame show. Joe, how are you?
What's up, boys? Let's go. Drake's first playoff win.
Damn right. Remember it. This is the one of many.
One of many. Yeah, you're right. You know what? It's one of many for Andy B as well. I don't think he gets much credit on his team, but he really showed up tonight. He was really clutch. Made all those kicks, didn't miss one. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves.
That's a great point, because if you watch the rest of the weekend, there were plenty of great kickers missing kicks over the course of the weekend. He didn't. You're up 9. And as I said, at 9-3, I kind of thought the game was over. Even though it wasn't technically over, at 9-3, it felt like you might have enough points to win, and those were all off the right leg of the kicker who doesn't like to play in the cold.
And when they ultimately got the touchdown, 16-3 was definitely over. That was icing on the cake right there. I thought if they got a field goal and made it 12-3, that's still a 2-score game, and it was going to be over. And knowing, Joe, that's a great call. Thanks very much. Have a safe ride home. Enjoy the night. Go Pats. Andy, watching the game we did last night where Green Bay had the second most catastrophic playoff meltdown in history, just behind 28-3. And multiple meltdowns within the game as well, not just 21-3 at the half, but full well knowing that McManus, and you can't spell McManus without, as a lot of Green Bay Packer fans reminded all of our timelines as well. Dude, you got one job. Can you not miss the one extra point by 27 feet? Could you maybe hit one of those field? I mean, Green Bay's defense obviously allowing that 4th and 8. Shout out Caleb Williams, by the way. That throw on 4th and 8 with 5 minutes left last night was beyond spectacular. But these kicks matter. What's the line from Parcells? Don't be the guy that makes the play that sends us home, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And there's plenty of kickers that this weekend that contributed to sending teams home. So, Joe, you're right. The rookie kicker probably hasn't gotten enough credit for what he's done. He's kind of fallen in the shadow of Drake May and Travion Henderson and all these guys that have come on over the course of the season. Another guy that I'll throw out there that we hoped would do what he did tonight, because we weren't sure, because he missed whatever it was, a little over a month, but Milton Williams back out there looking like Milton Williams early in the game, got away with one, then finishes it, then headbutts the head coach to give him a bloody lip before he heads to the podium, which is a nice look for Hardo, Vrabel, and company. But Milton Williams is a difference maker. They, however you want to divvy up the credit, and I actually didn't read it, but I know there was a whole story by somebody about Elliott Wolf and why it's worked so well. Whatever. I don't care. They signed Milton Williams for $100 million, and they're getting very good return on investment. That's part of why you're 1-0 in the postseason.
Oh, dude, you want to talk about difference maker for the run defense, the pass rush, all of it. We have plenty of time to get into that as well. That wraps up hour number 1 here on the Six Rings post-game show. I just want to say to everyone who is on hold, the lines are jammed. Keith, Mark, Brandon, Savage, Zach, don't you guys go anywhere. We're going to get to all of you when we come back, and we're going to check in with Miss Megan Ottolini, who is going to be coming to us from Gillette Stadium with a little locker room report, a little negativity to start off hour number 2 of the Six Rings post-game show. It's Fitzy, it's Hart, it's you. We got Terp behind the glass, and we got a couple hours to talk some Pats. 16-3 wild card winners here on the post-game show.
Red Sox manager Alex Cora on Merlone, Fourier, and Mego. Home run record to you.
The Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council present the story of Tom and Levi.
Tom is the smartest man I know. He's been a professor at 2 major universities, been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, he told me that he was having problems in his classes. I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. And he was telling them that he was doing it as a favor to them, but I think in reality, he just wanted to get out of there. I was really starting to worry because I saw something was wrong.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me, and my love for him was just immense.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom!
I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
I always tell people I was the luckiest guy in the world. I wanted to be an Army man or a fireman, and I got to do both. As a firefighter, my job was about saving lives. I never thought one day I would be fighting for mine.
After spending his career answering the call to save others, Ken was diagnosed with ALS. Now he's facing his biggest battle, for more time. For 70 years, Muscular Dystrophy Association has been answering the call to help people live longer and more independent lives.
MDA means to me hope.
MDA is leading the way for people living with ALS, muscular dystrophy, and other neuromuscular diseases by accelerating research, advancing care, and advocating to empower families like Ken's.
I wouldn't be living as good of a life with ALS if it wasn't for MDA. MDA is helping people live stronger and love longer. Learn more at mda.org today.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager, learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Broadcasting from the WEEI studios. Powered by Verizon. 93.7 WEEI FM and HD1, Lawrence, Boston. An Odyssey Sports Station. The Six Rings postgame show is presented by McFarland Energy, the region's most dependable provider of home heating oil delivery, as well as expert HVAC services at McFarlandEnergy.com, and by New England Recovery Center of Westboro on WEEI. Time now for the Six Rings postgame show, breaking down everything Patriots. Now, here's Fitzy and Hart on WEEI.
Hour number 2 of the Six Rings postgame show live on WEEI. Andy, what joy this is for us, because we've been doing the Six Rings postgame show now. This is our 4th season together doing the postgame show. This is our first playoff game, and it's our first playoff win. I almost don't know what to do with myself. Like, normally it's just like, well, all right, time to get into who the Patriots are going to be drafting. 3rd overall, 4th overall. What are they going to do at quarterback? What's the future under center? Who's going to be the coach? Now it's more like, all right, what can they clean up to make for a better effort? Like, let's pay tribute to what they did tonight, and what can they clean up next week, when they go to the divisional round and try to win another playoff game? And how great can this team be for years to come? It's a delight, just like it is to welcome our friend, Miss Megan Onalini, onto the show for her patented Megativity segment here on the Six Rings postgame show. She was just in the locker room talking to the likes of Carlton Davis, Steph Diggs, and more. I got to throw you on the spot, Mego. You get one word to describe tonight's performance by the Patriots. What would that word be?
Important. I know it sounds silly for a playoff. I know it sounds silly for like a playoff game because, of course, every playoff game is important. You have to survive in advance. But this was such a different type of win than we've seen from this team through the 14 wins that they had in the regular season. There were parts of it that reminded me a little bit of the Ravens game, and that Drake was doing some things that really hurt the team overall, and the first three quarters were pretty ugly from an offensive perspective. But this was the best performance that I've seen from the defense the entire year, no question. And I really didn't know that the defense could show up like this. Part of it may be that they have Spillane and Milton Williams and Landry all out there together, but you had a bunch of other guys like Craig Woodson, Marcus Jones, who were showing up and making critical plays for this team.
You know, Mego, I think, we've talked about it around here, the 18 run where they turned into a running team with Sony Michel and, different late season. Even the Chiefs have done it a couple times in recent years. Are we maybe seeing a transition here of what this team is? Like, I know on the broadcast they were talking about, well, early in the year, all they did was throw the deep ball down the field, and it almost feels like, well, is this team transitioning to defense, run the ball? The running backs might be the heart of the offense. Or are we seeing an evolution over the last month of maybe what this team is, especially getting healthy on defense?
I hesitate to go that far because if there was an evolution, I think we would see it more towards, I think, a more balanced running attack between Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson. And today, Ramondre was just a man possessed out there. Like, he, I think, was built for this kind of matchup at this point in the year, and you're seeing the best of him right now. But I do feel like this is more of an outlier rather than trends pointing to this direction, if that makes sense. I think it would have felt more like, oh, there's this evolution in the game if we had seen a lot more success from the quick game, from screens. But I feel like they just kind of took any edge that the Chargers gave them tonight, any opening that they gave them, and ran through it, literally, or, just took what they could get when they could get it. And then the defense really took care of most of it. Just talked to Stephon Diggs at his locker in the locker room, and he was the first to say, hey, man, this game, like, Drake played a great game. Like, he's tough, but the defense took over this game for us. They did everything.
Megan Onolini joining the Six Rings postgame show live from Gillette Stadium. My word of the night, Mego, was going to be relentless. I thought that they were, another big RE word would have been resilient as well, because for every time Drake took a sack or ran into pressure, got stripped through the pick, mistakes were made in the production tonight by all accounts, but found a way to bounce back as well, and then make some nice checkdowns to Ramondre, make a big throw to Kayshon Boutte or a big one up the seam to Hunter Henry when he needed to. But this was, you pointed out at the top of the interview here, this was the first game that Milton Williams, Harold Landry, and Robert Spillane played together on the field in 2 months. So we really had almost forgotten what this defense was supposed to look like when they were firing on all cylinders and healthy. And I just thought they never stopped. Like, they just were like, I called it an old-fashioned early 2000s throwback Patriots performance tonight.
Yeah, I think that, can't say enough about the defensive performance that they showed tonight. And I think to the point that you had Drake May with some really potentially damaging turnovers, the interception and then the strip sack fumble. And instead of having to really pay the piper like you would in maybe 90% of the cases, you have a defense that suddenly steps up in the red zone and makes these goal line stands that we really just haven't seen the likes of from this whole season. And as great as Landry was, it was Caleb on Chasen with the 2 sacks tonight, like a huge performance from him. And anytime that you ask any one of those individual guys about, like, hey, walk me through this play, then what do you think, what got into you where you were able to perform that way. It's like, well, it's all of us. And it's interesting because I think that's something that carries over on both sides of the ball. It's this guy's turn, and then it's this guy's turn, and then it's this guy's turn. Milton Williams, there's a reason he makes $100 million, and we saw it tonight. Christian Barmore, a reason why he gets a big paycheck. But it really is on both sides of the ball, like anybody's day or anybody's play to make a big play there. And I think that's kind of the success story of this team so far.
All right, Mego, it's called the Megativity segment for a reason. There's lots of things to like. I liked a lot about this game. Fitzy's word, resiliency, the Mondre, the defense, all those things. But the rookie offensive linemen were horrific. Will Campbell and Jared Wilson were really bad. And I'm fully expecting the Texans beat the Steelers tomorrow night, so you'll be hosting a really hellacious pass rush next Sunday at Gillette Stadium. How concerning was the offensive line play tonight looking ahead?
Well, you said it, hellacious. I think that's a good word for it. It was a complete disaster for huge stretches of the game, and credit to Drake for using his legs and keeping the defense honest that way, because it affected him tremendously. Like, again, he's tough. He took a bunch of sacks. He popped back up. Even when there were mistakes, I think he was mentally very resilient, to use one of those words that you guys threw out there. But his accuracy was all over the freaking place. Like, I think when you go back and watch the tape and see, okay, it's not just like him sailing Austin Hooper, sailing Ramondre Stevenson. It's then these off passes to Pop Douglas. And we haven't seen that version of that guy, I think, since maybe some parts of the Raiders game, probably going all the way back to 2024, though. And I can't say that is entirely Will Campbell and Jared Wilson's issue, but it certainly was compounding it. It certainly was a big issue, and I'm concerned then if you're looking forward and seeing Houston on the other side, of course.
Yeah, and if the Steelers do upset the Texans tomorrow night, because the Texans are, I believe, a 3.5-point favorite at Acrisure Field at Heinz Stadium, or whatever the hell you call it now.
Whatever the hell that thing's called.
Honestly, just call it Heinz, for God's sakes, or just call it the one Bane blew up in the Batman movie. If they do pull off the upset, that means they played well enough to, give a tough team with a good defense the business and make their way back up to Gillette next week. How was the environment tonight, Mego? It sounded pretty loud on TV, but am I mistaken that Steph Diggs, in his locker room availability, which I believe you were around for, did he challenge Pats fans to be even louder next week?
Yeah, he did. He did issue that challenge. He said that he wanted the atmosphere amped up a little bit. I've covered a lot of playoff games here, as you guys have been in the building as well. There's certain points where it's like, okay, you can feel the building shaking. And it definitely got to that point, especially at the beginning of the fourth quarter, after the possession where you get the Hunter Henry touchdown, and then it's going back to the Chargers. But I agree. I think they can probably take it up another level. I know that there's certain things about the acoustics in this stadium and the red seats and all the engineering specifics that can make it a little bit challenging. But it is I do think that there's probably another level they can go to.
So, Mego, getting back to Mondre and the ground game, and you're right, it wasn't really a balanced attack, but I do think Mondre, you could argue, is their best offensive player over the last basically month or so of the season and tonight. How do you feel about the game plan moving forward? Like, do you expect the passing game to bounce back, or, is this kind of what they are offensively right now with the offensive line and the good defenses they're going to face? Are they going to have to lean on this far more balanced attack with maybe Mondre being the centerpiece yet again?
I think going back to your question earlier, Andy, about like, hey, is this a team that's developing in a different way? Are they giving a different look like that last Super Bowl run team did? I think it may be a team that just is showing a little bit more versatility than we expected. So something that Mike Vrabel had talked about that's very obvious if you follow NFL football is that, hey, you got to be able to run the ball and you got to be able to play strong defense as the weather turns cold and then you're in playoff football. But this is a case where I think most of us did not think in November this was the Ramondre Stevenson that you're going to be able to get in January. So some of it is, hey, what is the defense going to give you? Steelers defense is probably going to give you something very different than the Texans defense, or whoever you may see going down the line. If you end up in the AFC Championship game and you're out in Denver against the Broncos, that's going to be a different thing as well. But you have to be able to provide different looks. And I think just the very fact that you have Ramondre Stevenson playing the way that he is right now, and even more importantly, with the tough defense that they were playing out there in the Chargers, hanging on to the football, like, it's a really cool redemption story for him, and that he's somebody that they can depend on in January at this point. It just gives them a hugely dynamic look. But does that mean that Drake May's deep ball is going away and you can only depend on it in October? I don't buy that either.
Yeah, late season Mondre has been a thing, and they're gonna need those soft hands and those powerful runs from him, at least for another week, if not longer, if they want to keep this magical postseason run alive and keep the dream for a 7th Super Bowl alive as well. Last one here, Mego. No word or no sight of Christian Gonzalez, because I just read on the break a stat from Next Gen Stats. Gonzalez did not allow a reception on any of his 5 targets across 26 coverage snaps in the Patriots wildcard win. Gonzalez has allowed a league-low negative 9.7 receptions over expected this season, including the playoffs. I mean, that's one we're going to have to keep both good eyes on this week, because even on the broadcast, they immediately jump to, Herbert's going to take advantage of this. They're going to start throwing his way now because Gonzo being out is such a huge factor.
Yeah, there were a couple of moments later in the game where they were going towards Marcus Jones, and there was a point where Carlton Davis went out as well, but then he came back in and seemed fine. I know Gonzo was downgraded to out at the end of the game, but he was in the locker room afterwards and fully dressed in his pregame outfit and seemed pretty happy. So we'll see what happens there. I can only say I don't know what his exact status is, but he was hanging out and seemed, in good spirits. I can say that much.
Mego, it's always a delight to talk to you, but with a positive update like that, again, none of us are doctors, nor did we play one on television. However,
but he was not hidden. He was not hidden away. He was wearing his cool Bruins outfit that he had pregame, so he seemed in good spirits with the win.
Awesome. Make sure you give her a follow at Megan_Ottolini. We'll be back later in the week with a Behind Enemy Lines preview on the Six Rings podcast of whoever the Patriots face off against next Sunday night at 6:30 from the Razor. Mego, thanks for taking the time. Great work, as always, at the stadium, in the locker room, on the podcast, and, of course, on the pregame show each and every Sunday on WEEI.
Yep. Thanks, guys. All right. Hopefully we'll have another fun and less negative segment next week.
Yes. Keep them rolling, baby.
That's right. And enjoy staying up till 2 a.m. playing ping pong with Drake.
All right. Bye, guys.
Megan Ottolini here on the postgame show. Andy, the lines are still jammed. My word, we got to start working in some of these calls. All right, here. You know what? It's just one of those nights. We'll get to a break in a minute. That's fine. The commercials be damned. We got people like Hookers on the phone from Savage Sports. King Agritorius, the one who brings us all the headlines himself. Savage is on the way home. He's in the car. He went to the game tonight. He probably enjoyed a little treehouse. What's up, Savage?
What's going on, guys? How are you, Fitzy?
How are you, my guy? How was the game tonight? What was the environment like?
It was good, man. Sorry, my voice is obviously a little shot, but
that's playoff voice. You don't apologize for that. You make it loud and proud, kid.
Yeah. No, the crowd was good. I thought early, man. It just got a little. I'd say it got a little dead midway through because people just got a little doubt. A little doubt crept in once you had the Drake interception, and then the offense kind of just couldn't move the football for a bit. So I think people got a little nervous, but as Meg said in her nice segment there, Meg, the crowd picked up in the fourth when, I think kind of, I don't want to criticize the crowd, but I think when they realized that we actually were probably going to win the game, people got really loud. So ultimately not bad, but just want to touch on quick, again, it's trickier watching in person, as you know, than watching on TV when you can see the highlights and see who's making plays and whatnot. I'm now just listening back, obviously, to everyone talk about how Will Campbell and Jared Wilson performed. All I could really notice during the game was, Will Campbell gave up a really massive strip sack. I didn't notice how poorly he played the rest of the way, but is this going to be a massive issue going forward in the postseason is my question to you guys.
Yes, especially if it's the Houston Texans, because That's what they're programmed to do, is take advantage of decent offensive lines, never mind young ones or injured ones. And Will Campbell, from the very beginning, and Chris Collinsworth was very critical early on about even going back on tape. He feels like Will Campbell gets bull rushed too many times, gets pushed back into the quarterback. There were a couple completions, actually, that Drake May had where he kind of was getting hit by like the butt and feet of Will Campbell because Khalil Mack was bull rushing him.
You could just let me finish this pass. That would be great.
Yep. Yeah. And then Jared Wilson did not play well. They had some issues with some games at times. So they were getting beaten physically. They were also getting beaten mentally, schematically. And if you do that against the Chargers, who are good, what's going to happen next week when Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter and those guys smell blood in the water? That's a major concern for next week.
Yeah. I basically, at one point, Fitzy alluded to before that, in prior years, you started saying, how do we improve this team through the draft? Who do you take at 3? Who do you take at 4? I started doing that at one point in the second quarter. I was like, okay, they can't block well. We're not moving the ball. The receivers to me weren't separating. And I was like, and I don't mean to just be period. They won the game. I'm happy. You know what I mean? But again, it's trying to be how do they keep winning? How do you keep success? How do you keep driving this? And so obviously the offensive line is going to be something you need to fix in the future. You're going to have to get another big playmaker on the outside. I know we have time to do this, but I was going through that mid-game. I was like, how do we keep improving the team?
Absolutely.
Welcome to our world, Guy. Savage, thanks for the call, man. Get home safe. We'll talk to you soon, okay? Andy, that's so funny that, now people, they watch it and they're like, okay, all right, so we're probably going to win, but is there anyone that can maybe stretch the field next week? Or what are we going to do about this Will Campbell issue? That's good. That means the fans are learning along with the rest of us.
It also means, and you should be doing this, you're getting greedy because you're looking at your team and you know it's good. But you're like, man, there's a couple areas that are probably flaws.
Good as anyone else,
flaws.
right, dude?
Absolutely. But, if they don't go to and win the Super Bowl, you're going to look at ways to improve the team. I think they absolutely need to draft 2 offensive linemen. I still think Jared Wilson moves to center eventually. I think you need a big old left guard to put next to Will Campbell. I think a big, powerful. And the beauty of that is you can get a guard in the 2nd, 3rd round who could end up being Joe Tooney, who could end up being a real Michael Onwenu. He's supposed to be your best offensive lineman. You got him in the 5th round. Joe Tooney, you got in the 4th round. So you can get these guys. Now, the right tackle spot, you're going to look to get younger and get a right tackle that isn't, 107 on bad knees.
Who's
Morgan
that dude?
Moses.
The name's going to jump right to your lips because this is
doubt it.
right down Hart Avenue. No, the guy that Seattle drafted him from North Dakota State University. He was a guard / tackle. I'll look it up during the break, but he went 3rd, 4th round.
Right, and you can get those. That's the beauty.
Daniel Jeremiahs of the world were like, oh my God, this guy's gonna be, and he's been a PFF darling all season.
And that's the beauty of it. You can get some of these complementary positions later because you've drafted the quarterback, the left tackle, and the cornerback in recent years. Because you've checked off the hardest things to get. Now, you're going to be knocking on the door and having to sign some of those guys in the next year plus with whatever. That's a side issue. But I think it's normal to start to get greedy and look at the couple things you'd really like to improve to say, this year we're good. Next year I want to be great. Next year I want to be dominant. Next year I don't want to be holding on for dear life in a 9-3 game. I want to blow people out. So I think that's very normal, Savage. The crowd, I just think in general, this type of game is hard to get crazy for. The reality is, I think Alex Cora tells us this. Offense is energy. Offense is energy, whether it's in a team, whether it's in a
take the
ballpark,
long ball or points.
It's just the reality, right? Offense is energy. Even in, I think you can say any sport. The 4 major sports, offense is energy. And there wasn't a lot of offense in this game. In fact, at times, there was bad offensive line play. There was it wasn't great plays either that were leading to some of the turnovers. It was kind of crappy offense at times.
There was, and we have a little time to explore this on the remainder of the show, and I'm sure we'll get into it tomorrow afternoon as well. I did see a little bit of the bleep that'll get you beat out there tonight.
Yeah, by both teams, and luckily the bleep beat the Chargers.
They put more bleep out in the field than the Patriots did as well.
They bleeped right down their leg and right out the playoffs.
As one texter, my pal Andy, who was in the teeth of the traffic on Route 1 on the way home, said, one thing that can't be overlooked, At the beginning of the season, Vrabel said the three measures of success. There were three measures of success. The first two were win the division and win a playoff game. So at least two major goals of the Mike Vrabel era in year one already accomplished. So I don't want to now they've won a playoff game, by the way. Can we all just agree, Andy? I think we can put this on the table and just all concretely agree this season is a success.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I don't want anyone like, oh, no, now it's Super Bowl or bust. Like, please.
Well, we still got Stiz. We'll talk to him at 2 today. He still says Super Bowl or bust, I think. And, one of the long-term projects you can put in your list of projects is, does 7 rings in football things sound right? Or is that not a new good name for a post-game show and a podcast?
How much is it going to cost to demolish the end zone and have to hang a 7th banner? Texter Jay in the 518, I believe that is the New York Capital Region area. Don't forget, Mac Hollins is going to be back for the AFC Championship game against Buffalo. Ooh, I like it. As we often say, Andy, I'm here for it, guy. All right, one more call, and I swear we'll play a commercial and pay a bill or two.
I don't think you're on the clock.
It's fine. It's after midnight. No one cares about the clock. Anyone that's in the car when they went to the game always gets a shot. Brandon's in the car. Hi, Brandon. Welcome to the postgame show.
Hey, what's going on, boys? I just wanted to say I disagree. I think the atmosphere was absolutely electric city tonight. Everybody was on their feet. Shout out to the 304 section.
There we go.
It's great just to see Patriot playoff football back in the mix, Go Pats, baby.
Go Pats. Let's go.
Pats.
Super
There we go. I like it. One of those people was possibly driving. Let's be careful now, boys.
Be careful. It's a
Careful
crazy
now,
day
everybody.
out there.
I know. I appreciate that. I'm sure it was not quiet at times. I'm sure it was just it's cold. It's a little measured. And yes, you say we say all the time, like defense travels, defense wins championships. Yes, it does. People were fired up for Drake May's first championship, first playoff game, and ultimately first playoff win. I did hear a lot of MVP chants as well tonight. People make noise for offense, but I thought it sounded on the TV like people were fired up for pass breakups and sacks and turnovers.
Yeah, but it's not the same. Like, I'm guessing if you had a noise meter or whatever, the touchdown to Hunter Henry was probably the loudest the stadium got. It was a big play, touchdown. Like, that's where there's a release of 65,000 people making noise, whereas the rest of the day was field goal, fumble, strip sack. Those just big plays on offense are what ignite crowds because they're also the easiest things to react to, right? You see them develop and everybody knows what's happening when it happens, if it's a 50-yard pass play or if it's a 50-yard run or whatever these things are. So I'm not blaming the crowd. I'm not saying the crowd wasn't good. I've had my criticisms over the crowd over the years. To me, this game was a difficult one to really reach those highest levels of audible impact on a game. But I still think they were a good crowd. Like, it looks good early. The light shows and the different things they're able to do now. Like, that was a fun playoff environment. I saw Jason McCourty and others getting ready to come for next week. They're excited about next week. And Vince Wilfork was the keeper of the light or the bell or whatever the hell it is up there. And I get confused with that. It's a keeper of the light, but they ring a bell.
But you ring a bell on a light. Yeah.
Okay, am I the only one that doesn't like?
No, because it's keeper of the light because that's what the person at the top of the lighthouse is called.
Yeah, but they actually kept the light. They changed the light bulb to make sure the light was going. The keeper of the light at Gillette dings a bell.
Yeah, so it should be the keeper of the bell. It should be the
ringer of the bell.
The bringer of the bell for whom the bell tolls.
Yes.
I don't know. It's all confusing to me. Who
Just
knows?
win.
Just win, baby. That's all you need. All right, time to take a break here in the 12 o'clock hour. 617-779-7937 is your telephone number. More of your phone calls, and we will have to take a couple minutes to go over a little bit of the bleep that luckily didn't get them beat out there tonight. What do the Patriots need to focus on? What do the Patriots need to clean up in anticipation of next week's divisional round showdown, which, if Adam Schefter is correct, will be 6:30 Sunday night at the Razor. You're listening to Nick Fitzy-Stevens, Andy Jumbo Hart, Justin Turpin, and all of you Foxborough Fanimals live on the Six Rings postgame show on WEEI.
WEEI. WEEI. New England Sports Original.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients.
This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition. It's fully treatable. And at Northeast Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll also likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Northeast Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 617-793-5000. That's 617-793-5000. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
I'm Tumani. When I was younger, I may have did some stupid things. I committed some crimes, even got shot, but I'm not a criminal.
That's right. I'm Jamal. I work for youth advocate programs. Yeah, I was Tamani's advocate, helping him stay out of jail, stay in the neighborhood, and get a job, and work hard to see a better future for himself. If you have a change of mindset, you can have a change of action.
As a little kid, I experienced trauma and I acted out. Made some mistakes, but I'm not a mistake.
No, she's a good student and a great kid. As Jalen's YAP advocate, I'm always here for her. With the youth advocate programs, I was able to connect with Jalen.
YAP is a community-based alternative to youth incarceration, congregate placement, and neighborhood violence. After completing our program, 86% of participants were arrest-free. YAP works.
And now, I'm a YAP advocate, helping kids like me find a better way.
Youth advocate programs. Others talk social change. We make it happen. Learn how at yapinc.org.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's. The Parkinson's Foundation knows that the disease doesn't just affect the diagnosed. It affects everyone who supports and helps care for them.
If you or someone you know is living with Parkinson's, a neurological disease that affects movement, we understand that it can be difficult to know where to find help.
If you have questions, the Parkinson's Foundation has answers. Answers for everyone in the fight.
We can help you understand the disease,
help you find expert care and local support,
give you tips for living a better life,
and share the latest research.
Find your answers and join us in the fight against Parkinson's.
To learn more, please go to parkinson.org
or call 1-800-473-4636.
That's 1-800-473-4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
Hi, it's Chris Curtis, and right now, drug and alcohol dependency is affecting so many of us. If addiction is impacting you or a loved one, I highly recommend the New England Recovery Center in Westboro, a really compassionate staff and beautiful 25-acre campus where most major insurance plans are accepted. New England Recovery Center offers 24/7 admission with transportation available if needed. Why wait? Call 877-MY-REHAB or visit newenglandrecoverycenter.org today.
The 99 Restaurant's $14.99 Big Deal Meals always hit the spot. They're big on flavor, big on comfort, and big on value. And now you can dig into these hearty favorites any day of the week. That's right, the $14.99 Big Deal Meals are available all day, every day. So now you can have the roasted turkey dinner all week long. Hurry in today or every day for any one of our $14.99 Big Deal Meals. You gotta love the nines.
This is the Six Rings postgame show. Here's Fitzy and Hart on WEEI.
On the split lip with Vrabel, can you take us back to the instant replay on that? What happened?
Man, I was just turned. That's just pure emotion. I think I got hit with everybody, but I forgot Vrabel had no helmet on, so he'll be all right though. He'll be all right.
There's your $104 million man who made a big difference right up the gut tonight. Milton Williams talking about his big sideline hug with Mike Vrabel towards the end of the game, forgetting that his coach didn't have a helmet on. Just popping him right in the chops with his lid, giving him a little bit of a split lip. But you know what? Football knowing Mike Vrabel, Andy, like we actually don't personally, but we do, obviously, the cut and color of the character that he is. What a football guy, what a hardo he is. He probably absolutely loved that. Like, he's
course he
fine with
does.
it. Are you kidding me? Like,
The guy hits people as part of practice, even though he's 50 whatever years old and shouldn't be doing that anymore. Like, he's preying on the Greg Hill show last week. Apparently he has, like, plantar fasciitis or something, and he wants to break something because that supposedly makes it feel better if it eventually breaks or
it does.
tears.
Like,
or-
yeah, you do like something like sonic treatment to it to
he's
like break
nuts.
stuff. Yeah, no, no, well, all right, yeah, he does the victory shots
He
with
likes
the morning
blood. He
crew show.
loved it in the preseason, in the joint practices when he dove into the pile and he had the blood.
To separate a fight, and he got the scratch, and you know
Yes,
he asked
he
Will Campbell to
loves
knock
it.
him on his ass at his workout. Like,
loves it.
This is, I know he lives for stuff like this, so that was probably perfect. All right, back to the phones we go. Andy, Matt is at the Razor. Oh boy, are you enjoying a little after game tailgate, buddy?
No, we're stuck in traffic on Route 1.
So you're technically still sort of at the stadium, but you're trying to get home. Well, safe passage,
about a
my
mile,
guy.
About a mile from it.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man.
Good
That's
Lord.
not great.
Oh, that's
It's
brutal,
not
brother.
good.
Well,
It's
we're
not
happy
great.
to keep.
It's not great.
Not great, Bob. Not great. Happy to keep you company, though. What's on your mind, my friend?
All I can think about after the game is validation. No one can say the schedule was the result of the 14-3 record. No one can say it anymore.
Nope.
Yeah,
One of
no,
the
they
things I
can't.
was thinking about was interesting is, so there's 3 NFC West teams left and 2 AFC East teams left, right? So
How about that, huh?
5/8 of the playoff field are those 2 divisions, which happen to be the 2 MVP candidates that everybody's been debating schedules and challenges and medal and all these things. But, you know, you advanced, Josh Allen advanced, so your best competition, your best win, whatever you want to call it, advanced. I think that's all done. You've won a playoff game. You've proven yourself. Okay, move on. Even though I saw the numbers that since they've gone to the 7 seeds in each division, the
Yeah.
7 seed is now 1-10 all time, I think is the
Really?
So yeah, the 7 usually loses to the 2 pretty much every time.
Yeah, and that was the case. Not to say that this particular 7 didn't belong. They just didn't have it tonight.
No, they are what they are.
Yeah.
We talked about this. You made fun of me because I said
No, I
something.
didn't.
You did, because I said something to the effect like, these teams all have a little sucky to them. What that sucky is and how sucky it is a thing, right?
Are we back on the sucky now?
Yes. And I think we saw it this weekend, right? We saw entertaining football. We saw competitive football. But were any of the teams like dominant, perfect? Like, there was a lot of sucky on display. That's why the games were so competitive and balanced and down to the wire, and leads were being blown and mistakes were being made. All these teams have warts. They're all flawed,
Yep.
including
Yes, they
the
do. They have
Chargers.
cracks.
And including
Yep.
So you know what that means? If you win, you take a victory lap. You enjoy it. You deserve it. You earn it. And then you move on to the next week and hope you can cover up your warts and your suckiness to win again.
I tell you, after all the games that I watch, and I know we've got one more to wrap up Super Wild Card Weekend, I would say with the 2 teams that took a bye, Seattle and the Broncos in the NFC and the AFC respectively, the Bills, the Patriots, winner of tomorrow night's game, TBD, the 49ers, the Bears, any one of them could win. Wouldn't at this point now, it would not surprise me. I mean, anybody could win.
Yep. And it's great for the NFL. If you're a more traditionalist like I am and you kind of like measuring sticks and dynasties and, you know, to be the man, you got to beat the man. I don't know who the man is this year. So how am I supposed to beat the man to be the man? I guess I'll just win the final game and they'll give me a ring and a Super Bowl trophy. And
they'll ultimately tell you were the man because here's your trophy. Yeah.
Correct. Yep. You're going to be the man. And then next year, you're the measuring stick, at least to start the season. And we go on from there.
Favorite game of the weekend?
Texans Steelers, because it's the next one. And that's what
gross.
Drake May told me to say.
Recuse yourself from the rest of the break, please.
Favorite game of the weekend? I'd probably say Bills Jags, just because
It's a hell of a game.
It was a fun game, and I am kind of rooting for Josh Allen, you know, and I'm rooting for Patriots Bills because I think that would be fun. I think that'd be a fun AFC title game, 3rd time. And I like watching.
I didn't think they were going to win, honestly.
I didn't either, and I wasn't sure Josh Allen was going to make it through the game the way it was going with his hand, his head, his knee. He got sat on. His fingers were bending in weird directions. His knee was bending in weird directions. He got beat up as bad or worse as Herbert did.
Yeah, Bud's going to be spending some time in the tub. I
Plus,
also
it was
thought
nice, too. I was like, yeah, it must be really nice to be in a pool watching
70
a
degrees.
football
That looks really fun.
The kid was
That's-
like dancing in the pool watching a football game.
That's all Jacksonville's got going for it, though.
But look at him. Look, you know what? It is something to say real quick. It wasn't long ago that stadium was covering up the bulk of the 300 level because no one wanted to go. They weren't a good team.
They're
And
like,
to
hey, we've got Wi-Fi and a Shark Tank. Come on
Right.
down.
Now they're hosting a playoff game. It didn't go well, but they're hosting a playoff game, and the crowd was raucous, and it was a fun environment. It was loud. They're building around the whole stadium now. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
okay.
they're making major capital improvements. By the way, Panthers Rams didn't suck.
No,
I can't believe
well,
what a
all of
good
them were
game
pretty
that was.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them. I won't say they were the best played football, almost any of them, but they were all very competitive, entertaining football games. What did Tirico was saying today? Up until late in the Patriots game, every minute of every game was a one-score game. Like, it was never out of hand.
Oh, and our pal Brian Frizzoco, who works on our WEI afternoon show, texted us rather on our family chain that prior to the end of the 49ers-Eagles game, whatever team had the lead with 2 minutes left in the game on Wild Card Weekend lost. So,
yeah,
I mean, just
A.J. Brown, that commercial you say you're always open, that may be true, but you don't always catch the ball when you are open. Hey,
Yeah.
Butterfingers Brown, what are you doing?
Jeez, you sure? We're
And
sure we're
Jalen
going to move
Hurts
heaven?
blows. Dan Ball's right. Jalen Hurts sneaky stinks.
I'm not sure if I'm moving heaven and earth to get A.J. Brown here next year, but at the same
No,
time,
I've moved on. I've moved on to Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Justin Jefferson.
Okay. All right. I'm trafficking in something called reality. You're living in
It's
fantasy.
12:44. You can say whatever the hell you want right now.
All right, one more call before the break then. Andy, 2 through 5.
Let's go the fiver.
Zach on the South Shore down in Weymouth. What's up, Zach?
Hi, guys. Big fan of the afternoon show. First time caller.
Oh, that's you.
I thought the occasion of the Chargers flying across the country just to kick a field goal was a pretty good one. I will keep it brief. I got a comment and then a question. I think that the coldest take you could give tonight is the defense won this game. They showed up in a big, big, big way, and I was very happy to see that because the entire season, I think everyone's really trusted more or less that May and company would get it done, and the defense has been a much bigger question mark. So to see them show up in a big game in a big way is very, very reassuring as a Pats fan. Thoughts on that going forward? And question, how amped do you think Ted Johnson is right now that we've won our first playoff game in a couple of years?
He is probably pretty amped up right now as he wraps up his TV efforts for the night, Zach, and we thank you for the call and enjoy your Monday, which you are now well into as well. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, if the defense can play like this team could potentially go far, like we just said. Anybody could. I've been going with the whole analogy of like just, this is a big bingo ball and just keep it rolling and pull out two teams, and that'll be a good enough Super Bowl. But if the defense can continue playing like this while the offense tries to figure out how to adjust to more intensity, better pass rushes, tougher coverages, greater leverage, like they're going to continue to see, like people are going to try to mix up coverages now. You're going to see all sorts of fake blitzes, and you're going to see guys coming at you from all over. You're going to see people backing off at the line. It's zone, it's man zone. Like, it's going to be tough. This is, if anything, Andy, in addition to it's great to see Drake May's magical sophomore season and this unlikely 2025 ride continue, this is more data for the machine. This is more experience for him to pick up. Because stop me if you've heard this, but he's only 23 and his career has just begun.
He's only 23, son of a bitch. Hadn't heard
About that, huh? Yeah, he's a wee little whisker.
The thing that I find interesting that the caller brings up is generally you think by December and January you know pretty much what teams are, what they're good at, their identity. What we have done is gone back to what we thought the team was going to be but never really was on the way to its 14 wins. And what I mean is I thought the offensive line was going to be a problem, sneaky stink. Ted Johnson thought teams would feast on the left tackle and the left guard that were rookies. Never really happened. It happened tonight. I thought the running game and the running backs might be the strength of the offense. Never really happened until the last 3 weeks as that duo finally came together. Travion was breaking out. Ramondre gets healthy. Boom, you got 2 running backs that are now the core of the offense, or a big part of the offense. We thought the defense was going to be awesome early in the year. The defense was not as good as we thought it was going to be. The offense actually was better than we thought it was going to be. But now we're like, the offense isn't as good anymore, but is the defense really good now? Are they healthy, and are they coming? So there's this weird, like...
pivot.
Yeah, pivot that I don't know if it's a one-game pivot or if this is pivoting through the postseason.
I think it's going to be more the latter. I think this is now officially an expectation recalibration.
Well, I'm fine with if we're saying that essentially you're looking to get somewhere around 150 to 200 yards out of your running backs total, through the air, on the ground, the whole thing. They look more and more like that might be semi-realistic on a weekly basis. They both have big playability. They both can pop off a 40 or a 50-yard run or a 40 or a 50-yard catch and run at any time. They look like they're falling into place. The offensive line, though, is a concern. That is a concern that I had early in the year that was never really exacerbated or taken advantage of by
Nor
anybody.
was it addressed in season because they were inactive at the trade deadline, and a little depth there would have possibly
So
gone a long
it's just
way.
interesting what this team is right now, because you would think that a 15-3 football team, we know exactly what they are, right? They've won 15 games. We should know exactly what they're good at, what they're
They
bad
should be
at.
dominant, and in fact, we're not exactly sure what they
No
are
idea
at this point.
And I can fully admit. And then as far as Ted Johnson goes, I'm sure he's very happy. Like we're very much looking forward to previewing another matchup this week and what a week of Patriots football is going to be, because it saves us from bitching about the Red Sox and how cheap and dumb they are. We can push that off another week. Also, Ted Johnson can stick his little stat line up his bum that said when Drake May gets sacked 3 times and has a turnover, he loses the game. All 3 losses this season were
How many sacks did he have tonight, Andrew?
6.
5.
Or 5. Yeah, I knew it was more than 3, and he had more than 1 turnover, and they still won the game, Ted Johnson. How you like them apples?
I'd be careful where I tell Ted to stick stats and apples, Andy, because he's a twee spot bigger than you. By the way, on the evening between Drake May, Ramondre Stevenson, and Travion Henderson, the Patriots rushed for 146 yards, whereas the Los Angeles Chargers did not even crack 100. So big difference once again with Milton Williams coming back and getting Christian Barmore being healthy and Harold Landry being out there. That little bit of that rush D stoutness was back in effect.
And most of the success, as Vrabel pointed out, was either Herbert scrambles, which obviously part of the Patriots' success was May scrambles, but also they got so lucky. There was that one time there was the fumble that Vidal picked up and then still scampered like 11 yards off the right end. So they had a little luck on there. They didn't run the ball traditionally very well at all. The front was really good against sort of traditional hand-it-to-the-running-back runs.
617-779-7937 if you would like to jump in. If you're on your way home or you happen to
Stuck
have
in
pulled
traffic.
home. Yeah, those poor guys that
Sucker.
had just gone a mile. When we come back, as we are paying tribute and saluting the Patriots defense for their effort tonight, if in fact the Patriots are pivoting more to a power run game and a defensive-centric effort to try to carry them to 7 rings in football things, a little something at the podium from Robert Spillane on exactly what the Chargers had to say as to the effort put forth by the Patriots tonight and how it had them confused right from Jump Street. I think this will go a long way in explaining just exactly where the hive mind of Patriots coaches, game planners, and coordinators are right now. It's a very good thing. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be back right after a quick commercial break. This is the Six Rings postgame show live on WEEI.
WEEI. WEEI. New England Sports Original.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
As the owner, coach, and quarterback of your small business, you call the shots. From inventory to payroll and more. Now it's time to bring in LendSeek, your funding MVP. No delay of game here. Get up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours for business lines of credit or term loans. Let LendSeek's AI marketplace assist you in making the winning play and score that touchdown. Apply at lendseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
There are places, people, and conditions in this world that almost seem beyond hope. But not when Mercy Ships is there. Mercy Ships is a place restoring sight to the blind, normalcy to the deformed, beauty and happiness to the outcast, and joy to the brokenhearted.
And many times, you can almost see the life coming back into them. Can't beat that.
Mercy Ships is the largest floating civilian hospital in the world, staffed with some of the most skilled volunteer medical professionals and crew. Mercy Ships is the reason why hope is now in sight for those who need it most. To learn more, go to mercyships.org today.
Today, 1 in 5 working-age Americans has a mental health condition.
People in all types of jobs and at all levels.
And the key to helping us succeed is a supportive and inclusive workplace.
All of us have a role to play in making that happen.
So what can I do to help?
As a CEO, I can set the tone for supportive culture.
As a manager, I can offer assistance and accommodations.
As a coworker, I can listen and be a source of support to my colleagues.
As someone with a mental health condition, I can ask for what I need to perform my best.
I can offer all employees the supports they need to deliver on the job. For the team
and for the business.
What can I do?
What can I do?
What can I do?
I can remind others
that we all benefit from workplaces that promote good mental health.
Mental health-friendly workplaces are more important than ever.
And all of us have a role to play in promoting them.
Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
Never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners, where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
The Six Rings postgame show on WEEI.
Zach has been great all year. He keeps the dial spinning. He keeps offenses guessing all year. He's been doing that. You know, just after the game, talking to a few of the guys on their team, they had no clue what we were doing. And they came up and said that. We have no clue what you guys were in all game. So for him just to be able to build those packages throughout the week, our back-end players to know how to disguise the different defenses, really keeps quarterbacks guessing.
That's Robert Spillane post-game talking about how Chargers players told the New England Patriots defense had no idea what kind of formations they were in or what they were doing, that Zach Kerr was able to disguise the defenses that well. Andy, we're talking about a guy who's 36 years old, who's an inside linebackers coach, who was pressed into basically being defensive coordinator when the defensive coordinator handpicked by the head coach, Terrell Williams, unfortunately took ill halfway through the year, I think even before training camp began. And so Zach Kerr was, he's never been named interim defensive coordinator, I don't believe. I think he's still just the linebackers coach who's the game day play caller. I don't even know what his official title is, but he's kind of taken over the job. And look at the trust he has earned from his players, the organization, his head coach, that now he's able to call the plays. And he's like spinning a two-hit gem, if you will, against a team like the Chargers. That's spectacular.
And there's no indication that it's not him. And what I mean by that is you might have this thought that, well, Mike Vrabel's a former defensive player, defensive coordinator, all of that. He's probably taking a much bigger role in holding his hand. There's no indication he's holding Zach Kerr's hand. The indication is Mike Vrabel looks like a head coach who focuses on the field at all times, very infrequently does anything other than that. And Zach Core is running the defense, calling the defense, doing that at a very high level. I mean, I thought he was one of the stars tonight. Or last night, since it's already tomorrow morning right now.
He did a great job yesterday.
Yesterday in that win. And, you know, there was that overload blitz early, and then they show the replay, and you're like, oh, that's not really a blitz, because as Ted will tell you, if you don't send more than 4, it's not a blitz. It just looked like it was going to be a blitz, and it led to Robert Spillane getting free and all that and dropping guys into coverage.
Just a pass rush, not a blitz.
Right. So, yeah, I loved, you know, did he take advantage of a suspect line? Yeah. But you know what? We weren't sure they could. Remember when I brought up the whole strength versus strength, weakness versus weakness?
Mm-hmm. That was a fun little thing we did this week. And you know what the neat part is? We get to do it again with a different team.
Yes, indeed. But I think you won this game because weakness beat weakness. Your defensive front dominated their offensive front. And I wasn't sure you could because you're not the Broncos. You're not the Texans. That's just
they
not who
looked
you
awful
are.
strong tonight, Andy. They really they did.
Well, the other team looked weak.
Yeah, is it that the Patriots had extra gas in their tank that the Chargers weren't up to the challenge, or likely, as we often say on the afternoon show, two things can be true at once?
Yeah. But if you get to the strength versus strength, the Patriots' offense passing game was not great against a good Chargers pass defense. It was not. You probably lost and/or just fought even in that battle, strength versus strength. But I think you dominated the weakness game. And because you dominated the weakness versus weakness, you won the game. And Zach Core is in the center of all of that, as is Milton Williams, as is Robert Spillane, as, you know, all the players are, Marcus Jones, all those guys. But Zach Core, and Vrabel said something in effect like he deserves all the credit he's getting. I'm not sure he's getting a lot of credit, Coach. You might want to fluff him up a little bit, pump his tires up a little bit.
And let other people do as much as well. And hooray,
you know what I was actually thinking?
We are the king of the weaklings. Yes.
I think we should put a request in. And no disrespect to my buddy, Josh McDaniels, who will be scheduled to speak with on Friday, on Patriots Friday on WEEI afternoons.
Hey, buddy. Are you guys working that podcast out yet?
Yeah, we're going to work on the podcast. So since we're going to do a podcast, we should request that we talk to Zach Core, because I think he deserves the attention. That
Will they allow him to speak on his own?
Well, I think so, because he talks to the media. He does press conferences, and he does the, like, when they do the full assistant coaches are available.
Let's ask for both. Let's shoot for the moon.
Okay, I don't think that'll ever happen, but yeah, sure, let's do that.
Well, questions still don't cost anything. I mean, sometimes it hurts.
Why don't we get Robert while we're at it? Can we get Robert, Elliot? Let's just, can we do one a day?
He's busy standing up showing people his phone tonight. Hey, the head of FIFA was in the booth. Why not him too? All right, one
the
more
World
call
Cup
before
was there in the trophy room.
How about that? Extra fancy. That's
I don't really care. I just thought
I was just going to say that for anyone in the audience that actually does. All right, one more call before the break. 1, 2, or 3, Andy?
2.
Mark and Methuen, you are up to close up hour number 2 of the postgame show. What's up?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, guys.
Pleasure.
Great game. Defense stepped up big time. But I got one question, especially now for you, Andy, if you got Josh on. What happened to the jumbo 6 lineman formation that was working, last week?
They did not use that. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Wouldn't that have helped out a little bit with the slowing down the pass rush tonight?
It could have. They use that more in running situations generally, and I think they planned on being able to protect in a more traditional fashion, and they didn't want to give up a receiver. It didn't work great. Even on the was it the touchdown where Travion Henderson had the nice blitz pickup where
he did. He chopped that guy off right at the leg. Sawed him. And your boy Westover had a nice game tonight too. Caught a pass and had some big time blocks.
He did. So I don't think they wanted to give up the functionality that you give up or the give and take that you have with the extra jumbo package. So they did it at times because I remember Munford being on the field, but I do think it was a little less than recently. That'll be something that'll probably be a consideration. It's that give and take, right? If you want to put more big blockers on the field, it limits the athletes you have on the field. It limits the guys that you can get the ball to. So I'm guessing that was a game plan thing, yeah.
I understand, but that left side of the line was really having trouble tonight. You know,
They were, and I don't think they expected
less than desirable, sir.
Yeah, but I don't think they expected that because that was as bad a game as those two have played all year, I think.
Oh, you could say that again as well. Mark and Methuen, thank you very much,
Thanks,
sir.
Mark.
Enjoy the rest of your Monday. We hope to talk to you in victory again next weekend as well. 617-779-7937. Moving into hour number 3. When we come back, we'll take a look at the rest of Wild Card Weekend and start to look toward what the Patriots will be working on and how they can improve upon whether they face the Steelers or the Texans next week as well. We'll give you a quick little sneaky preview of what's going to be coming up on WEEI Afternoons tomorrow. And don't forget, the oft-imitated, frequently duplicated, but never, ever bettericated. I'm tired.
Are you drunk? Good thing you're home and don't have to drive.
I wish I was. No, everybody loves Thumbs Up, Thumbs Down with Andy Hart, brought to you by our friends at Cars for Kids. That's coming up here on the postgame show. Don't forget, we are always sponsored by McFarland Energy, the region's most dependable provider of home heating oil delivery, as well as expert HVAC services. It's all available at McFarlandEnergy.com. Don't go anywhere. Hour number 3 of the postgame show coming up.
WEEI, New England Sports Original.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition. It's fully treatable. And at Northeast Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll also likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Northeast Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 617-793-5000. That's 617-793-5000. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
I'm Tumani. When I was younger, I may have did some stupid things. I committed some crimes, I even got shot, but I'm not a criminal.
That's right. I'm Jamal. I work for Youth Advocate Programs. Yeah, I was Tamani's advocate, helping him stay out of jail, stay in the neighborhood, get a job, and work hard to see a better future for himself. If you have a change of mindset, you can have a change of action.
As a little kid, I experienced trauma and I acted out. Made some mistakes, but I'm not a mistake.
No, she's a good student and a great kid. As Jalen's YAP advocate, I'm always here for her. With the Youth Advocate Programs, I was able to connect with Jalen.
YAP is a community-based alternative to youth incarceration, congregate placement, and neighborhood violence. After completing our program, 86% of participants were arrest-free. YAP works.
And now, I'm a YAP advocate, helping kids like me find a better way.
Youth Advocate Programs. Others talk social change. We make it happen. Learn how at yapinc.org.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's. The Parkinson's Foundation knows that the disease doesn't just affect the diagnosed. It affects everyone who supports and helps care for them.
If you or someone you know is living with Parkinson's, a neurological disease that affects movement, we understand that it can be difficult to know where to find help.
If you have questions, the Parkinson's Foundation has answers. Answers for everyone in the fight.
We can help you understand the disease,
help you find expert care and local support,
give you tips for living a better life,
and share the latest research.
Find your answers and join us in the fight against Parkinson's.
To learn more, please go to parkinson.org
or call 1-800-473-4636.
That's 1-800-473-4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
When I grow up, I want to be a teacher because they know a lot of awesome stuff. I'll stand in front of the class and make sure everyone knows what I know.
If your child is sick over and over again, it could be PI, a serious defect of the immune system. Early testing gives children a chance to dream.
And when I'm a teacher, my favorite subject will be recess.
Jeffrey Modell Foundation, helping children reach for their dreams. Visit info4pi.org.
The 99 Restaurant's $14.99 Big Deal meals always hit the spot. They're big on flavor, big on comfort, and big on value. And now you can dig into these hearty favorites any day of the week. That's right, the $14.99 Big Deal meals are available all day, every day. So now you can have the roasted turkey dinner all week long. Hurry in today or every day for any one of our $14.99 Big Deal meals. You gotta love the nines.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Broadcasting from the WEEI studios. Powered by Verizon. 93.7 WEEI FM and HD1. Lawrence, Boston. An Odyssey sports station. The Six Rings postgame show is presented by McFarland Energy, the region's most dependable provider of home heating oil delivery, as well as expert HVAC services at McFarlandEnergy.com, and by New England Recovery Center of Westboro on WEEI. Time now for the Six Rings postgame show, breaking down everything Patriots. Now, here's Fitzy and Hart on WEEI.
Johnson in motion for...
How about that highlight, huh? Man, that was one of the most memorable moments from the game tonight.
What's the ear version of blinking because you'd miss it kind of thing?
So many memories, so many moments, so many highlights, so much mystique, so much energy at the stadium tonight as well. Yes, there will be meaningful football next weekend. We told you there would be meaningful football in January played at Gillette, and now there's going to be meaningful football played into the third weekend of January as the Patriots are set to host a divisional round game. That's something they haven't done since all the way back, once again, in January. Their last divisional round game hosted at Gillette Stadium was against who, Andy Hart?
Divisional round game hosted at Gillette Stadium. I'm going to say the Ravens because it seems like a simple guess.
It was against the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh.
Back in January 2019, the famous Sony Michel running game 41-28 when Bosa was like, hey, Tom, slow down so we can try to get after you. Throwing it too fast.
Yep.
Everyone says we're too old. We suck. Yeah, that
Nobody
was
said that, actually, but Brady heard that somehow. Nobody was really
Yeah,
saying
where did that myth come from?
His brain.
No, or did Edelman tell him that?
Probably. Somebody screwed with it, or Belichick screwed with it. Probably Belichick. He's the mastermind of everything, of all the gates.
Well, he was. And then, things became...
Then it went sideways, and he's a bad college coach.
Really not... By the way, since we last radioed, has Indiana stopped scoring on Oregon?
Yeah, no, Indiana's pretty good. Kurt Signetti, that whole rant I went on about how you can turn a program around and be really good really quickly. Yeah, they're really good really quickly, and they have that fun quarterback who's a goofy bastard, but boy,
He is, but I'll tell you, I was not convinced a month and a half ago that Fernando Mendoza was going to be a good quality NFL quarterback. I'm still not entirely sure.
Yeah,
Maybe he's just one of those guys that's like an awesome college quarterback. I'm not sure if it's going to translate. I don't want to continue seeing people compare him to Drake May, like, oh, he's the next Drake May. No, he's not. There's a Drake May, and just let him be uniquely unto himself and who he is. No need to compare anyone else to him. That said, what they did to Oregon and what Indiana's doing, pretty damn impressive. And Miami, your victory is that you made it to the national championship, and you're playing it in front of your home crowd. And hopefully you'll only lose by 20 because what an absolute wagon out of nowhere Indiana has turned into. Before we get into any more topics, Andy, let's go back to the phones. My God, these good people, they're still in traffic. They're still hanging out at the stadium. God love them. Line 3, Jake is at Gillette, or hopefully maybe by now he's made it home. Hi, Jake. How are you?
How we doing, guys? Remind you guys, I was the one that went to the game by himself versus the Jets.
Oh, Solo Jake.
But,
we
hey,
love you, guy. Yeah.
What's going on? So, yeah, I went with my buddy this week, and believe me, the most electric atmosphere I've ever seen at a game at Gillette. When the Hunter Henry touchdown went down, I was jumping around hugging my buddies. It was the most amazing experience ever. And I have to say, great job by Drake May this week. Great experience, and definitely great job by both and all the wide receivers. And I can't wait till next weekend's divisional round. But, yeah, love you guys, and thank you guys for taking my call. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jake. We appreciate the call. We also appreciate that you found someone to go with because, Andy, great experiences are like delicious beers and fine wines and long sunsets. Best enjoyed with somebody.
Right, which is why everybody's enjoying it right now as they sit in cars of 2 and 4 and 6 on Route 1 and say, Jesus, when am I going to get home? I just want to be home. Why is the car not going faster?
I just want to be home. Who thought of this damn road, and why didn't you? So let's think real. All right, we'll grab the last call, and then we'll get on to Jeff is on line 1. Jeff, calling from the back seat of a truck, it says.
Hey, guys, I got just a quick thing here. I don't mean to nitpick. I've been a big Drake May guy all year. One, I need you to maybe calm down a little irrational fear of mine. What is with him wearing the sideline jacket on the field? Having him run the jacket run out to him every time during a timeout. Is he not going to be a cold weather quarterback? It's kind of a serious concern of mine right now.
Oh, very you know you've reached hour 3 into the wheeze of the morning when someone's calling in with a sideline jacket question. But you know what? That's exactly what we are here for, my friend.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it at all. I think it's a modern thing, and I think we were just ripping Derwin James for being a hardo, so I can't then hypocritically rip Drake May for being the opposite of a hardo and taking advantage of modern equipment and technology, and if he can stay warm. And you see this everywhere. Every game you watch, if it's cold, there will be jackets that will be run out specifically generally for the quarterback, the wide receivers, sort of the skinnier, more important, whatever you want, wussier, however you want. You don't see him putting them on a lot like the center. Like there's no one running a coat out for the center. That guy, you're fat, whatever, you're not that important, you're a lineman, I'm sorry, you don't get a coat kind of thing. This is the least of our
gets the celebrity treatment. It's like on set. The movie star is the one that has like the tee and the compress run out to him and his cell phone and
the umbrella. Oh, it's raining. Somebody's holding an umbrella for them.
Right.
Like to the victor go the spoils, to the quarterback go the jackets on the field. If that's your biggest concern with Drake May, that tells you just how good we got it.
Yeah, and also I believe that was Jeff that was in the back seat of the truck. Yes, it was. Remember, Tom Brady, we used to all have a gas at the idea that old neoprene Tommy was out there in a freaking scuba suit to try to keep himself warm, and he's a NorCal kid. Drake's a North Carolina kid. I think a lot of questions were answered and a lot of fears were allayed, Andy, when he went out there and played those cold weather games in short sleeves. And then you asked him the subsequent Monday on WEEI Afternoons if that was like to prove that he was tough. And I don't even think he really gave an answer. I think he just kind of like, shucks his way through it.
Yeah, he didn't. He just kind of said, you go out there, you see how you feel, you wear what you think you need, blah, 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 not that cold, blah, blah, blah. Wasn't like when I asked him if he was worried he was going to get lit up when he blocks on end arounds. He had a very different answer for that. I will tell you something that I really enjoyed from him tonight, and I think has gone back the last 2 to 3 weeks. I think he has run very
I would say assertively. I wouldn't say aggressively. It has been it's been very decided. He's running with a purpose.
Expeditiously? Is that the word I want?
Because
he gets down when he needs to get down, and he dives forward when there's a potential.
But he's
down.
very decisive. He's not like, S word. Where should I go? I just he's not.
I thought Herbert looked S word. I thought Herbert looked indecisive, and I love the way he's run out of bounds or even, like I said, he dove for a first down once early, and we talked to him about that last Monday. And he said, like, yeah, I dive because then the ball's more forward. I'm trying to get the first down. He had like a sideways slide to stay safe. Like, I think he's doing a better job each and every week running. Now, what I thought took a step back tonight was kind of the pocket presence, holding on to the ball in the pocket, knowing when the play was over, maybe throwing the ball away. Obviously, the fumbles, that I think he needs to clean up. But actually running, I thought he ran really well tonight.
I thought he ran best I've seen him run in a while. I mean, he was their leading rusher.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
But you can run for yards, and I can still think, you made some bad decisions or you put yourself in harm's way. I didn't really think he did put himself in much harm's way. I thought he was far more decisive than we've seen at other times.
All right, if you've got it ready, Andy, as we said earlier, it is the often imitated, never duplicated, thumbs up, thumbs down. And everyone that stayed up late, all the Jeffs in the back seats and the Jakes that found a friend to go to the game with that are still listening to the show, we love you. We're happy to have you. And, of course, our show is always sponsored by McFarland Energy, the region's most dependable provider of home heating oil delivery, as well as expert HVAC services. It's all available and more at McFarlandEnergy.com. Thumbs up, thumbs down is brought to you by our friends at Cars for Kids. The easy way to donate your car, donate today, and your car can be picked up tomorrow. Go to Cars for Kids, that's cars with a K.com, or 1-877-CARS for Kids. Andy, take it away.
In honor of Cars for Kids, we're going to start with the kicker. That starts with a K. That is Andy Borregales. 3 field goals. That was enough points to win the game for you. And early in the year, we had what do you think is cold? Well, anything below 72. And we were worried, and he's missing things and field goals and didn't really win the job, and they shouldn't. Andy Borregales was playoff ready tonight. Not just Andy Borregales, though, on special teams. Brendan Schooler had, I thought, his best game in a long, long time.
We weren't calling him for offsides.
Nope, no penalties, just plays.
He missed that punt block by a whisker.
But he impacted it, and I thought early on special teams was a part of what looked like what might just be like a very simple sort of ugly defense and special teams kind of win. So Brendan Schooler, Andy Borregales, big-time game. We're getting a little repetitive with this one. Ramondre Stevenson continues to be your best all-around offensive player. He had the 3 quick catches, the real quick catch early to 48 yards, I think, out to midfield from the 2-yard line after they had that defensive stand.
Speaking of people running bullish and decided as well.
The defensive stand could have gone sideways if you don't get it off the goal line there, and then you punt and they still have the ball in your end. So that's a huge play that doesn't probably get the attention it deserves. After the Marcus Jones-led stop, you get the 48-yard run immediately to get to midfield. So Ramondre Stevenson ran the ball well. Cotton ran the ball well. Hunter Henry was probably the best all-around receiver on the night, including the lone touchdown scored in the game. But I did think Kayshon Boutte also made some nice plays for his guy, Drake May.
We weren't even sure, Andy, pardon the interruption, we weren't even sure he was going to play because they elevated Jeremiah Webb off from the practice squad, and it was probably Kayshon Boutte hamstring insurance, and he looked terrific tonight.
He looked terrific, and the week that he posted his story on the Players Tribune, he's a writer, he's a playmaker, he can do it all, Kayshon Boutte. The Drake May running gets on the up list. As we just talked about, I thought he ran very well. I don't think you can put the Drake May night as a passer on the up list, but just his job running the football as part of the offense, and they needed it. As you said, he was their leading rusher, so he balanced it out. He's on the up list. Zach Core, because the game plan was phenomenal, the play calls were phenomenal, the blitzes, the games, the stunts, everything was phenomenal from Zach Core. And last but not least, Christian Ellis, who, if you paid attention to the broadcast, drew the assignment of being sort of the spy on Justin Herbert a lot and caused Herbert, I think, to look indecisive because there were a few times Herbert wanted to run, and then he looked up and he's like, oh, no, that 53 is pretty fast, and I saw what he did to the Giants. He takes people out. I'm going to change my decision here and just flick the ball.
I don't feel like getting Jackson darted at this point. Can we also go back to the offseason? Again, in a year where Mike Vrabel has made next to zero, has made just almost every right move. We could quibble with maybe 1 or 2 things tops. When they decided to match the 2-year, $13.5 million offer that the Raiders made for Christian Ellis after losing Robert Spillane on a 3-year deal to the Patriots. We all thought, well, that's silly. Why are you spending that kind of money on him? Like, you just spent all that money on Spillane. Aren't there other needs? He's proved his worth. Like, he's brought legitimate value, especially in the second half of the season. Dude looks like he's gotten fat. He must be the healthiest he's been in a while or something, because he's fast. He hits like a freight train. He is a force of aggression on the football field for this team.
I just think it's comfort. I think he's getting comfortable playing a lot, and he's getting, more comfortable in his reads and thinking less and playing faster and all those things. But he was really, really good out there. And even, you could argue that you're getting more value out of him than you are Spillane, because it seems like a bargain contract. And
Bobby Spillane was in the mix tonight and doing his job as well.
He was fine.
If I may, give me 2 seconds here, Andy, in the middle before we get to the thumbs down. Your leading tackler on this particular night was, take a guess.
I am going to guess that it was, I don't know, I'll say Christian Ellis. I just want him to be.
He was your second leading tackler, 8 total, 3 solo. How about this? Craig Woodson with 11.
The eraser with 11 tackles, Craig
and
Woodson.
7 solo as well. Very impressive. This also just hit me out of the blue. There are 3 people that start on the Patriots defense named Christian. Has that ever happened before?
Oh, I'm sure someone else could find the answer to that.
We could call them the defensive crusaders at that point with so many Christians.
Okay, we don't need Christian jokes or anything like
That's
that.
not,
I feel like
I'm
even
just
at this time.
saying. Come on.
All right, let's get to the thumbs down. Thumbs down, Fitzy's Christian jokes. Also, Drake May in the passing game held on to the ball too much, had an interception early, had the fumble, had another fumble later that could have even been worse. And like I said, there's no shame in having a strip sack. Like, your back is turned sometimes. But he avoided the strip sack and then was like, you know what I'm going to do after I avoid the strip sack? Take more time with the ball in my hands and actually try to throw the ball instead of, living to fight another day. So better pocket presence from Drake May could be utilized. No surprise here. I'll do them as a duo because they're dynamic. They're on the left side, and they're rookie offensive linemen. Will Campbell, Jared Wilson. You guys kind of suck tonight. You need to be better. We were all happy that Will Campbell came back from the injury a month off and looked so good in the finale. Like, hey, no rust. He's out there the whole game. Woohoo!
It was that. Now
apparently the rust was delayed. Can you have delayed rust or something?
Well, can we also point out though, like we were sort of like kind of fine-tooth combing the difference, of opponents as well. Like now we see the difference between the pass rush of a Dolphins team that's dreaming of Cancun that knows their coach is going to be fired, and a Chargers team playing for their general existence.
Yeah, but to be fair, we were kind of mocking Khalil Mack on the show this week, saying he's kind of on the back nine. Well, he still had his way with Will Campbell far too often.
His front nine was in Will Campbell's face all night long, and it was pretty damn impressive.
Absolutely. And finally, other than the offensive linemen, I still say, and they started to do this early, Carlton Davis. He's just not that good. Pass interference, gives up catches. He always seems to leave the game for a little while.
Has he been on your list more than anyone this year?
Yeah, I feel like he has.
We need to rename the thumbs down list the Carlton Davis Memorial Thumbs Down list.
Could be. And I will say, hopefully, and all signs point to, I thought that was a good note from Mego out of the locker room that Christian Gonzalez was in there and talked to the media for, didn't talk officially, but said, I'm fine. I can't talk to the media because I'm in whatever. That's a good sign because I don't want to see this defense without Christian Gonzalez and with Carlton Davis theoretically as your number one corner because I'm not a huge Carlton Davis fan. I don't think he's very good.
Especially if you
and it was PI too. He bitched about the PI. He grabbed the guy, Quentin Johnson, I think. He grabbed his arm and held it down while the ball was in the air. It's going to get called every freaking time.
As long as you see it, but of course, if Milton Williams karate chops a quarterback to the head, you don't.
I see nothing. I see nothing.
Yeah, no, regardless of who you draw next week, be it the Texans with Nico Collins and the Iowa State receivers, or if you get the Steelers and they win tonight, I was going to say tomorrow night, with DK Metcalf, you're going to want Gonzo out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to want Gonzo out there. We can quibble as to whether he's had a good year, a great year. Should he have been all-pro? He was 5th in all-pro voting, all those things. But he's your best corner, and he's one of your best defensive players, right? He's been a physical force. We've talked about it on the edge. He's been a little more physical and tackling. And, yes, you absolutely – and they play a lot of guys. What's his name was out there? Charles who's number 22? Charles, the backup corner.
Webb?
No, it's not Webb. No. Whatever. Who cares? He was out there, but I don't want to see them out there any more than they need to be. I want Gonzo
Charles
out
Davis.
there. I don't think it's Charles Davis either. He's an analyst. He's a voice. Let's just move on.
Okay, that guy. What's his name? Yeah, no. I mean, you're obviously always going to want your number one corner out there as well. But considering the season he's had and the physical style that he plays with, also his size and the fact that he was great tonight before he got his bell rung a little bit, you're going to want to have Gonzo out there. So we'll make sure that we monitor that over the course of WEEI afternoons all week. All right, when we come back, we will put a bow on the live portion of tonight's Six Rings and Football Things post-game show on WEEI. Patriots win 16-3. In the final half hour, you'll get a replay of Drake May and Mike Vrabel's pressers, as well as our conversation with Megan Ottolini, fresh from the locker room after the Patriots won. 617-779-7937 if you want to try to sneak in a final thought from Gillette, the backseat of the car, your driveway, or hopefully wherever you are now that you've maybe made it home at the end of a long drive after a great game. This is the Six Rings postgame show live on WEEI.
WEEI, New England Sports Original.
Hi, it's Chris Curtis, and right now, drug and alcohol dependency is affecting so many of us. If addiction is impacting you or a loved one, I highly recommend the New England Recovery Center in Westboro, a really compassionate staff and beautiful 25-acre campus where most major insurance plans are accepted. New England Recovery Center offers 24/7 admission with transportation available if needed. Why wait? Call 877-MY-REHAB or visit newenglandrecoverycenter.org today.
Big on flavor, big on comfort, and big on value. The 99 restaurants' $14.99 big deal meals are now available every day, all day. So hurry in today or every day for our juicy chopped sirloin. You've gotta love the nines.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-823-5544. That's 800-823-5544. 800-823-5544.
Want the lowest price on name brand tires? Town Fair Tire beats all the competition. We beat the wholesale clubs, we beat online prices, we beat all local tire dealers. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire. We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is the Six Rings postgame show. Here's Fitzy and Hart on WEEI.
All right, we are putting a bow on this puppy. Just a couple minutes here to wrap up the live portion of the Six Rings postgame show on WEEI following the Patriots' thrilling, defensively minded, dare we say, throwback style victory over the Chargers tonight. Final score of 16-3 in the wild card round, wrapping up a great weekend. Of course, the scores over the weekend as well. Panthers lost a nail-biter to the Rams Saturday afternoon. Saturday night, the Packers blew a 21-3 lead to Caleb Williams and the Cardiac Bears, who, Andy, just continued to do incredible fourth-quarter things. The way that team has been able to come back time and time and time again is something else, and it really makes me think, as silly as it would sound, to include the Bears in the Super Bowl mix, it's foolish to also discount them as well at this point, considering the way they've been able to come back. This good, better, best, till the good gets better and the better gets best thing that they got going on in Chicago is awesome. Earlier today, Josh Allen donned the cape one final time and was able to. That was the. By the way, side note, as they beat the Jags in Duval, was that the longest tush push you've ever seen?
Oh yeah, that was unbelievable. And it's starting to get more and more attention too. People are starting to get annoyed by. They're gonna alter those rules because you can't pull a guy, but you can pick him up, you can push him, you can basically carry him into the end zone. Like
it's a 15-yard tush push. I mean,
they're gonna adjust some of those rules. There's a few interesting storylines that we need to get into this week on WEEI afternoons. Do you like the fun little thing, meme, whatever it is, going around about San Francisco and all the injuries, and the latest being George Kittle tears his Achilles?
That sucks.
And people are talking, they think it's because there's a power plant next to their stadium that gives out some sort of whatever waves or something that weakens tendons. There was also the reporter, I'm going to use air quotes, in Jacksonville that took like 45 seconds to tell Liam Cohen to keep his head up, and he had a great season, and he should be proud of it and everything he's done. And the varying responses to that, Adam Schefter said it was awesome. Most people are like, that's a cool message, but I don't know if a post-game press conference is the place to deliver said message. If you're a quote-unquote reporter, most people are there to ask questions. So there's a bunch of interesting
offer opinion and commentary as well.
Also, there was a lot of racial tinge to it. They were like, the support of a good black woman is the best thing you can have in this world. And I was like, I don't even know what that means.
Who the hell said that?
A lot of people on Twitter, very openly, that I thought was very interesting.
Oddly enough. Anyway, Niners knock off the Eagles. Luckily, Philadelphia doesn't burn to the ground entirely. And, of course, Patriots win 16-3. Final thoughts and general notes that we'll be talking about, covering, and looking forward to over the course of the week before the Patriots take on either the Steelers or the Texans next Sunday. And, of course, renewed interest in the finale of Super Wildcard Weekend, as we'll be figuring out who exactly the Patriots play tomorrow night. I believe 8:15 kickoff on ESPN.
So I think the biggest story of the week is going to be the Patriots' offensive line and defensive front and how they match up with whoever they come up against next week, especially if that's Houston. The idea that Doug Marrone and Will Campbell and Jared Wilson maybe need to get back in the laboratory and figure some things out over the next 7 days. I think that's going to be the biggest talking point. But I also think the other big talking point is Drake May and the Patriots are for real. You can't call them paper champions or frauds or fool's gold or cubic zirconia. They've advanced to the next round of the postseason. That is not easy to do necessarily, especially for a young team still finding its way with a first-year coach and first-year quarterback. So maybe they get blown out like Houston had that happen, where they won one game and then kind of fell on their face the next game 2 years ago. It didn't happen to Washington. They kept right on rolling to the NFC title game. But whatever happens from here on out, you made sure the Cam Newtons of the world couldn't call you a fraud, Drake May, couldn't call you a fraud, Mike Vrabel and the Patriots. So move on, advance. You're just one of the teams competing for a title now.
Yeah, as Cam Newton calls them, middle of the mall, cubic zirconia. You know what is often also in the middle of the mall, Cam Newton? Those machines where, like, the claw hand goes down and grabs a prize, and hopefully it holds on to said prize. Hopefully the Patriots are able to hold on to their own prize. But what happens is there's usually just a number of random items in there, and the claw just grabs one of them, and you're happy if you can get any one of them. The Patriots are now just one of those prizes down there, and any one of them could advance to at least their conference championship, if not the Super Bowl as well. So I shall, and I imagine you shall not, nor Ted, nor anyone on our show, or anyone in Patriots Nation, entertain any more of this nonsense, that they're soft, that they're a product of the easiest schedule in 29 years, or they are someplace that they do not belong. Don't forget, tomorrow. Tomorrow. How about in just over 4 hours, the Greg Hill Show starts here on WEEI. Mike Vrabel probably on the later side of the show, maybe not the 6:30, 7 a.m. Interview he usually does with the victory shots. He'll be on with the crew from 6 to 10 a.m. Midday show, of course, Hunter Henry and the surprise question with Jones and Keefe. Afternoons, Fitzy and Hart will be back, hopefully with a little sleep under toe. And we'll have Drake May and Marcus Jones, who once again had an awesome game Another awesome effort for one of the most underrated defensive players on this team and in the AFC as well. Justin Turpin back in the studios in Brighton, powered by Verizon. Awesome job by you as well, my guy. That'll do for the live portion of the Six Rings postgame show following the Patriots wildcard win. Once again, Patriots 16, Chargers 3. That'll do, everybody. Give him a follow at Jumbo Hart. I'm at FitzyGFY. It has been a pleasure serving you tonight as well. This is kind of fun. I hope we get to do more of these victory-based postgame shows.
And for the record, it's Charles Woods, the backup cornerback. Thanks to Paul Perillo for checking in and calling me a bleeping moron for not knowing this last name.
Your friendship, you guys are something special, I got to tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, God love him. The old Charles Woods, one of my favorite neighborhoods. Charles Woods, this is the Charles Woods Memorial Six Rings postgame show live on WEEI. We will talk to you later this afternoon, everyone. Thanks for hanging with us. Good day. God bless. Hope you guys all got home safe, had a great time, and as always, go Pats.
WEEI. WEEI. New England Sports Original.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid.